All right, good people, good people. What is going on? You got your boy Vel in the building. My guy
And Z
Z
is
over.
back, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Got my partner with me last week. Obviously, for those who tuned in, y'all know I tried to do my 111th, as Sean McDermott always
Ah,
says, and I tried to hold it down for the gang. But we had a good conversation though. And I know, like I said, Z made a little road trip, and now he's back in town, probably back to his regular scheduled programming, which
trying
I know my
to.
man Z over there. You live a busy life.
Listen.
Yeah.
This post vacation couple days trying to get life back in order, man. It's been a struggle.
They say it's for the birds, and I say it's real because I know that you come back from vacation, you want to
I
take a
can't
deep
catch
breath.
up.
Sometimes, yeah, I'm about to say sometimes you can't even take a deep breath, and I know I got vacate coming soon for myself, so I know how that's going to be coming off 8-9 days off. I'm gonna be like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like I'm not looking forward to that part, but I won't even speak on it because like as Ev know in this household, the motto is one day at a time. So I'm just like, keep it simple, one day at
We
a
get there
time.
when we get there.
We're gonna get there when we get there. But outside of that, man, for those who didn't listen, the conversation last week was obviously number one, obviously, first episode of Hard Knocks drop. Wasn't groundbreaking, right? For most people that watched, it was pretty straightforward, just like week two was, right? Like we fresh off of week two of Hard Knocks, and like once again, I heard some complaints, I heard some people that were happy, but I'm like, all in all, if you know anything about the Buffalo Bills and Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, they not giving you a whole lot of juice. You want juice, you follow the Cowboys, you follow the Raiders, you follow the Eagles. You know what I mean? You go somewhere like that where they got a storyline every other week. Buffalo Bills not gonna give you a storyline. The storylines you're gonna get coming out of Orchard Park for the most part is gonna be what happened just within 24 hours. Is we extended another player. those are storylines you're gonna get. Is we renewed the contract of such and such, or we granted Josh Allen this much, or Deion Dawkins this much, or Matt Milano this much. So like the people who are outside of West New York who are not Bills fans, they got a taste of what is the somewhat boring off-season life of a Bills fan. But I mean, I know you weren't here last week, so before we get into the James Cook situation, which will make that the meat and potatoes of this episode here, that we'll do our best to keep short. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of James Cook situation, what's your overall reaction, I guess, of the first week or the 2 weeks? I don't know if you were able to catch the last one. I know some people are still trying to catch up, but what's your overall reaction so far?
Yeah, so I've only seen episode one so far. Like I said, I'm still trying to catch up on life, so I ain't had a chance to even sit down and pop on that second one. Yeah, but the first one, I mean, just like you said, man, it was just pretty straightforward. Like it, I feel like compared to other Hard Knocks years, I mean, this is it's definitely a lot slower. Just cause again,
Right.
it's not. I feel like with this being the first year where they're including playoff teams, I feel like you're kind of starting to see a little bit of the difference. I mean, you have a team that doesn't have a ton of turnover. It's not a lot of moving parts. Like you bringing back a large chunk of your roster, so like it's gonna you're gonna not have some of those juicy storylines. Someone really battling to make the team. Like, yeah, bro, if you, it, it's not quite same level. Like you look at Chicago last year, for example. You got a rookie quarterback. You got a team, with an upstart defense trying to break into that NFC North. So like you had much different storylines. So week one is really this get to know some of the players, some of the bigger name players or bigger personalities on the team. So as a Bills fan, I still love it, but I can definitely see why if you're just a regular fan of NFL and you tuned in for that, you'd be like, yeah, this it's kind
Yeah,
of
this
kind of in.
it's
But
kind of man. Yeah.
yeah, but for me, I
And,
mean,
and
I enjoyed it, man. Just kind of getting just the behind the scene look at some of the people in their off season stuff, what they got going on. Like it's just dope to see because this is a team we follow. So for me, I loved it. I'm looking forward to see what week two has in store, but I got a feeling it was kind
yeah.
of more of the same. This
Yeah, no spoiler alert, but week two was exactly that. I think they elaborated a little bit more on the story of Joe Andreessen. They dug more into the personality of KJ Hamler. They were able to get, a little bit of the off season of Josh Allen as he was on the show with or the podcast I call him with Busting with the Boys, and
Mhm.
what I mean, just hanging out with Josh a little bit. But I think it was more so they were trying to build up a storyline of some of the bottom third of our roster. Like I
Right.
said, especially with Joe Andreessen being a hometown kid, out of Lancaster, they tried to tell his story of how he was, once the little boy at the camp trying to get Tequila Spike's autograph, and initially Tequila walked away, and Pops had to chase him down type shit. So, definitely some cool stuff there. But like you kind of said, like when you are where the Bills are at, you're not gonna have too many make a wish situations. And you're not gonna have too many crazy storylines, but I do like how they pieced together a few things. One thing that was in there, and like I said, spoiler alert for
Are you
those who
good? I'm gonna
haven't.
watch it either way.
Damar Hamlin's piece I thought was very good because it brought us back. It brought us back to the moment when everything paused. And when I mean everything paused, you think about the sports world came together,
It literally.
in 2022. When that situation had, or was it? I mean, matter of fact, I think it was 2023. Actually, I don't even think it was. Yeah,
Yeah, I lose track of time.
2023.
Mm.
Yeah, January of 2023 when that happened. Um, there was a pause in sports. Basketball, football, no matter what you was, sports fans, athletes across the world, show him love because not only was that one of the most watched games at that time, football is still the ruler of all. You know what I mean? Like I know for a while, baseball had its time in history, basketball had its glory days in the 90s, but right now it's the NFL. NFL got the key right now. NFL moves the needle. That's why ESPN and the NFL got a connected relationship right now, a partnership. So, they told a little bit of Damar's story, kind of show his routine off the field, more so his prayers that he keep, and the things that he's thankful for now and in the next phase of his life. Because to me, I think it's bigger than football for him, and I think he's kind of reiterated that. Is like, man, listen, if I be a backup safety for the next 3-4 years, so be it. I'm just happy I got another chance at life. And I truly feel like that's how he moves too. Like you can watch him and like you can have your critiques, but it's like the guy not out there trying to be Brian Dawkins or fucking Troy Polamalu. He is out there just like, I'm having fun. I'm playing a sport that I love, and I'm still playing for the team that drafted me and gave me a chance, and also I'm playing for a medical staff that helped bring me back to life. So that is a blessing in itself, and I think that was more of a good lesson to show in Hard Knocks, because when you talk about the Buffalo Bills, like we get so caught up talking about Josh Allen, we kind of move away from talking about what really brought this team together over the last 2 to 3 years, and it was them coming together for Damar Hamlin. Them coming together to uplift Pagula and his wife. Sean McDermott had a little session on there talking about his skin cancer. Like those little touches I felt were good, because it's like, I think Manti Te'o, shout out to him, he was on NFL Network saying he didn't even realize McDermott had skin cancer or was battling skin cancer, and the fact that he was kind of open about that kind of show like, oh shit, if you're the average fan, do you know that about Sean McDermott? Do
Right.
you know how Damar Hamlin is now 2 years after the fact, or do you just look at him as like, oh, that nigga scrub? You know what I mean? So definitely some cool stuff there. But I was gonna ask you too, did you get a chance to at least watch some of the clips from the preseason games? Because I had a couple
Yeah,
quick
no,
thoughts.
I watched the whole thing back after the fact. I didn't
Okay.
get the chance to watch it live, but I did watch the
Yeah,
whole thing
yeah,
back.
yeah. Now I figured you would get to it at some point, but like I said, when people are away from home, I never try to put it on them to be like, hey, did you watch the all 22? You know what I mean? Like this ain't cover one. Like we got lives and shit. Like, not to say they don't got lives, but like this is not what we do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it is what it is. We have fun with it,
they
right?
throw out some amazing content, and we are not
Oh
them.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is the
100%.
sit down and we talk and chop it up. We,
Yeah, this
they
this this the
they
brown
on a
water
different
version.
level.
Right? This ain't
Yeah,
the watered down version. This is the brown water version. All right.
yeah,
So
you're right. Yeah, them boys built different though. They be breaking it
yeah.
down. I love it.
I respect it, and there's a couple out there, man. Like I said, not just the regular Bills reporters who do it, like the Shout podcast, and like what a couple of those guys do. There's some, some people out there who really dive into the shit. And I always tell people, I recommend, if you're gonna watch Bill's podcast, have a few. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't just, you can dedicate yourself to one if you want to, because I get it. Some people don't got all the time in the world. I'm one of them. But like, get you your serious one where you analyze and take with the guys, and get you one where you feel like you in the living room with them and you chatting. Because I
Right.
always said from day one, when me and Z, you know, 3-4 years ago when we talked about this, we like, man, we want people to feel like they in the room with us, man. You know what I mean? And whether we in the basement, whether we talking virtually like we doing now, or whether we outside, I want people to feel like they just kicking it. Because when you go to work, when you go to an event, or when you catch people outside, most conversations are natural conversations where you're talking about how you feel about the state of the Bills, what you see, what you don't. And we understand a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. So we try to come from a knowledgeable standpoint, but also on some real shit. Because people be
You're right
battling.
about
But
that.
anyway,
When you said that people don't
but
know what they talking about, son, that shit is reminding me. We went to the blue and red scrimmage joint a couple weeks ago. So I took Z up there with me. Me and him and Z went, but we was parked mad far away. So we was walking up, and I'm like, yo, as much as I love, as we know, I got my season tickets and stuff. So I love being at the stadium. But one thing I hate about it is people just be talking just to talk. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
bro, you be talking about stuff and you are just completely wrong, but you just saying it with your chest. And I'm like, yo, I don't have the patience for this. I'm like, yo,
yeah.
this is what I hate
What, what,
about
what,
being at the
what
stadium.
was
Niggas
somebody
just
saying?
talking. I'm like, bro,
What was
you
somebody
saying
saying?
shit that, huh?
What was they saying?
Man, I forgot what they said. But the thing is, they was walking behind us for like a solid 15 minutes. And bro was just talking to a
You was
random
hearing like
person.
the whole conversation.
The whole time he was just saying stuff. I'm like, yo, bro, that's not even true. That's not even accurate. Bro, you just talking just to talk. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
this time you
I
just
know how
being
that
in the
is
stadium
though.
and somebody random behind you just keep talking the whole game about nothing. I'm like, yo, bro, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like,
I know that's tough. 'Cause I be like I said, I've been around that before. More so at work, because obviously working in the sales environment, people get time to chat, and motherfuckers in sales chatty just off rip. So I've been around definitely numerous conversations where I'm like, you don't want to hear my take, or just being around
right.
passionate fans and
Yeah, I
like
just sit there and be
passionate
like, yeah, you got it.
fans. Sometimes passionate fans are the worst. That's why I try to categorize myself as like I don't even use the term diehard no more. Like I've went away from that. I remember being a teenager, whatever. I used to be like, oh, diehard
I'm a
fan. But
healthy fan now.
yeah, I'm
I
like,
heart shit ain't
I
healthy,
don't.
and I was there too.
Yeah, I think we all. I mean, most. I won't say most Bills fans have had a period where they would probably put themselves in that lane. Like, yeah, I'm a diehard. I bleed red and blue. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a rep red, blue, and white. You know what I mean? Till
To the
till
death.
till the
But
day comes. Right?
thing is,
But
like,
it's
yo,
like,
I used to let a loss it'll ruin my day, it'll ruin
yeah,
my week. And now I'm just like, nah, bro. I I feel like for me becoming a parent, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, it is just a game. See, you good. Be mad for the
yeah. I
next
mean,
hour or so, but let that go. So
yeah, nah. You gotta have. I always say that 24-48 hour rule, where like
mhm.
where you kind of like prioritize what's really, you know what I mean? Like for me, it's like you said, it's really family, it's work, it's money. Like I'm like, I got 2 to 3 other things that I can focus way more on than the fact that Josh Allen can complete a pass on 4th and 8, on 4th and 10. Is it gonna fuck with me for a little bit? Of course. Of course. I ain't gonna want to turn the TV on for a couple of days. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna skip
Oh yeah.
ESPN and go right to VH1, you know what I mean? But like outside of that, like, you know what I mean, calling the radio upset the next day, and you know what I mean, harassing players online, like those things I will never
Yeah, now that's crazy.
understand,
That's it, bro.
especially at
You
my
a
age
grown
now.
man doing that. That shit is nuts
Yeah,
to me.
you got
Anytime I
yeah,
see
it be
people like it's like a Twitter thread and they actually like tag the player, like I'm just like, yo, bro, what you on? Like, what kind of energy is that? Like, because half the time, not even half the time, you would never say that in person if you saw a homeboy.
Right.
You just get
It's
behind
all right,
behind
yeah.
your
That's why I be
phone,
like,
behind that laptop, and now you an internet thug. I'm
I'm
just like, oh
heavy on
yeah.
keep that same energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm heavy. Like I said, we going on a tangent, but I'm heavy on keep that same energy. Like, we'll talk about Cook when we get there in a few minutes, but like I'm heavy on like don't be the type to be like, man, we F you selfish son of a bitch. And
Bro, but
then
honestly, that's a perfect segue because prior to this
yeah.
contract, you were
Get
seeing a
there,
bunch
yeah,
of, oh, he a diva, trade him for anything, get him out of here, get him
yeah,
off my team. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. And I feel like as fans, I would just say us, not to say not me, but
yeah,
us as fans in general, some of us don't know how to separate business from the personal from the game side of stuff. Like,
yeah,
put yourself in James Cook's shoes.
right,
If you have 1 year left of a contract and everything from there is a crapshoot, you telling
yeah.
me you wouldn't be doing everything you can to lock up your future, to make
Coming off
sure
a career,
that my career, my next handful of years of my career is set or locked in place, my next
yeah,
couple years of income, and in this case,
yeah.
generational income is in place. Like, you telling me as a person you wouldn't be doing everything you can to get that set.
And I think too, just to piggyback off that, especially when you talk about coming off the year he had,
Right.
like if you want to make it work related, right? So in my field, if I'm a top seller, you know what I mean, in any field you want to say, but if I'm in my field and I'm a top salesperson and I'm in a contract year, this ain't real, but I'm in a contract year and I just finished the year number 1 or number 2 in sales, and now they gotta make a decision if they gonna extend me for the next 4 to 5 years. Best believe I'm gonna try to bang my table to try to get my salary raised to a point where it's like not only do I want to raise, but I also need that extension because my
Mm-hmm.
contract gonna be up with the company next year. And right now, y'all paying me chips. You paying me the same amount of money as you paying our 8 and 9 salesperson on the team. So like, I kind of need to know what's my value, and like us unfortunately as normal folks, I'll just call it that, we sometimes look at the fact that they're making so much more money than us that they should just be happy, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
making
not the
millions.
right. That's not the
it,
argument,
it,
though. It's not.
yeah,
Of
it's
course, you
not
make mad
right.
money
It's like,
compared to
are you
me.
making millions? Okay, but we're not comparing
Right.
you versus him. This is him comparing himself and his value to people
Mm-hmm.
in his job, people in his
Right.
profession. And
You should
to
be
me,
you
that's
should be
one.
happy to make millions to play a game, but like that's not what we're talking about. It's
Right,
me and my value as a running back compared to the other 31 starting running backs in this league and where I
right.
stack up.
Right. And the other players, period. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm watching my other colleagues get raises. I'm watching my other
100%.
colleagues get extensions, people who I
Bro,
got drafted.
I was about to say 3 other draft picks from the same class got
Yeah,
paid, and I'm sitting here like,
bro.
oh, ain't none of them
Yeah.
boys got 16 touchdowns.
But that's what I'm saying. So you want him to be just grateful, right? Oh, you making 5 million this year, so you good. Oh, but we can do better because we got Ty
Right.
Johnson, we got Ray. Like, listen,
And
and and
because
and
he's
that's one thing.
advocating for himself, he don't care about the team or he's a diva. Like that's what
Yeah,
always struck. Like people said the same thing about insert name here, whatever player is,
Jamar, yeah,
no matter who it is. But again, think of all the countless examples of players who've gotten hurt in a contract year or leading up to it, and their career was never the same, or their career earnings was never the same.
yeah,
So, like, you have to strike while the iron's hot. So, by him doing
and,
what he did, it's not a
yeah.
personal jab at you as the fan. It's
Nah,
not a personal jab at the Bills. And they also
not
understand
affecting.
it's your business.
And the same people who was mad at him holding out were the same people that was like, well, we can replace him easily. So cool, then you should be happy that he's making the relationship worse in your eyes, because guess what? Then we gonna really see what your guy Ray Davis or Ty Johnson is about. And there's no knock on those two guys either. They just happen to be guys who caught straight bullets because people swore up and down you can just plug and play any running back. Like, don't get me wrong, I still feel like we got a top 5 running back room. We got probably the best third down back in the league. We got one of the best young backups in the league in Ray Davis. I still like Frank Gore as the number 4. Darrington Evans is nice as well. So, like, our running back room is loaded. 100% agree. But you mean to tell me if I put Darrington Evans in the Chiefs game, I'm getting the same output? Or if I put Frank Gore back there, I'm still getting 16 touchdowns? I can't say that. I can say they can still be productive. I can say Ray Davis would probably still get me 8 to 10 touchdowns. I can say Ray Davis would still get me 4 yards a pop, but we're not talking about 4 yards. We're talking about how can I maximize not only this offense, but also the career of my franchise quarterback in Josh Allen. And I think for as many people who cape for Josh Allen, for as many people who say Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that, well, we still got Josh Allen. Y'all should have been the main ones saying, let's make sure we lock up James Cook. Because in my eyes, and it was always going to be about the numbers. I said that 4 months ago when we sat down with my pops. I'm like, we know it's going to be about numbers. And I felt even back then they would get to a number that would just work out. I'm like, I told you, I'm like, I don't know if it's 15, 12, 13, 11. And we all agreed that it was going to have to be lower than what he thought. But I'm like, I don't know what that number is. But I'm like, when they get there, it's going to make the Bills better versus just having an attitude like, we'll get Philip. Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing that I was saying the whole time is this team is a better team with James Cook on it than without James Cook. And for me, it was always, is the number gonna line up with the value that they placed on the room itself? For me, it was never a James Cook specific argument because I don't think I would want to pay any running back 15 plus million.
Right.
And that's just me personally. And that's not necessarily a individual player issue. It's a dollar allocation thing. I don't want to spend that much money in one player in that running back room. But I would, at the time I said, if we can get Cook at 12 and a half, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just because one, he makes Josh Allen's life so much easier. Anytime you have a star top-end quarterback, you want to surround him with as much talent as possible to make his life easier. I don't want Josh to have to put the cape on all day, every single game.
We've seen that.
So can I lean on James Cook for a little bit? Can I lean and on Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, Shakir, like put talent around him so he doesn't have to be Superman game in and game out. I don't want to burn him out. And outside of Josh Allen, James Cook is our biggest threat. He's our best weapon.
Bro, it got so ugly online, and I'll just interject and say this, that motherfuckers was trying to name 5 more important players than him on offense, and they were actually finding ways to they were finding creative ways to put him at like number 6 or 7. Like I saw a guy, I wish I would have like bookmarked it, because this was a couple weeks ago. Man going to say, obviously Josh Allen, right? Then he go through the list of damn near all the offensive linemen. He like Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, Khalil Shakir, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, so now you just doing shit just to do shit. I think he threw McGovern in there. I'm like, because now you just trying to say, cool, they got a good offensive line, which I agree with, top 5, top 10, wherever you want to put. But now you're just trying to say, just because a hole is there, you can run off of 50 yards and make it look easy. It don't work like that. We done seen.
Who's your home run hitter? These last 2 years, who's your home run hitter? Who has all your biggest plays? It's Cook.
And who's improving every year, right? And that's my biggest thing too, is that I look at how they develop players and how players look from rookie year to 3rd or 4th year, right? We already know about the growth of Greg Rousseau. We know about how Shakir, went from 8 to 10 catches his rookie year to being a guy that you can literally depend on anytime. Obviously he got to get healthy. We've seen the growth of Terrell Bernard. Went from a big question mark 2.5 years ago to being one of the captains on our team last year, making plays in the playoffs. We watched the growth of the other veterans who we've had on this team, from the Taron Johnsons of the world, the Deion Dawkins. I mean, he went from being somebody who motherfuckers used to dog for missing a block here and there to now He considered one of the most dominant left tackles in the entire game, bro. Like
Yeah,
just name
top
top
100 list again. It was number
yeah,
42, 46, something
43.
like that.
Yeah. So it's like time and time again, we watch him develop these guys, and I think we take it for granted a little bit. But like I said, you can't on one hand say you want Josh Allen to not have to do as much and then be upset that their best sidekick last year offensively wants to get paid. Like, no, they can work it out. And I always heard the argument, and that's why I tell people you can listen to my podcast or you cannot listen to it. I've always said they will find ways to move the money around. People get so caught up when being be like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. I'm gonna tell y'all once again. I beg y'all, listen to the experts. Listen to Sal Capaccio, man. He does a great job when he gets on trying to explain the cap and how things can move around.
There's
Or
always
actually,
levers that can be pulled.
yeah,
Like the way
or
they
actually,
structure their contracts, they got ways to make money if
yeah,
they need to make the
bro.
money.
The easiest way, and this is for the casuals out there who don't know this, the easiest way for them to make movement in that salary cap is through an extension. That's why you see every year they move a couple veterans money down the road just to
Yep.
free up some cap space.
They did it
Like,
with Josh Allen for what, the last 4 years? Every
bruh,
year.
yeah.
Get down the line.
And I'm
Go down
not
to
even
the
Dan Dawkins been reconstructed a bunch of times. Dawson Knox, like,
and there's
and I'm
still
not
room for
even
both of those people to get
yeah,
reconstructed,
right.
open up some more cap
Yeah.
space.
Facts. And I'm not a cap space expert. I just want people to realize that, like, I always get so many people caught up in that. They're like, no, hold up. I thought we didn't have money, or hold up, like, how can we do this? We can't afford. I'm like,
Yeah.
keep
So
thinking.
one person that I listen to a lot is Joe Marino on Locked On Bills, and he
Yeah.
one aspect of contracts he always mentions is percentage of the cap at signing. So this new James Cook signing is, if I remember correctly, is 4.3% of the team's salary cap. Like
Right.
that's not we're not talking a big chunk. So yes, you may hear 4 years, 60 million, and or is it 60? 4 year, 48. Sorry.
It's 48. Yep.
Yeah, I can't do math. Yeah, 4 years. You may see 4 years, 48 million, but again, that's 4% of the team's cap for your starting running back. Like that's not egregious. That's not out of line, and you still have to factor in this cap gets bigger and bigger every year. So by time one or two more running backs sign, like he's probably not going to be top 10
Right.
in paid running backs anymore. So
Yeah,
like
because
it's
some of these
not
young
the end
cats
of the
gonna get
world.
signed again. Yeah, you're gonna get Bijan gonna get his, and
There's plenty of running backs who are going to be up, and that cap is just going to look like nothing.
fucking Irvin, the dude from Tampa Bay, gonna get his in a year and a half or two. So like paying Cook now down the line he may ask for it again, but he'll be in the same place his brother was, which is like, oh, you 28 now? Oh,
Yeah,
you
and
good
that's
then?
the thing. Like one reason why I was always on board, or not, can't say always on board, but one reason why I was on board with signing Cook is the tread on his tires is so low compared to other running backs. Because
Yeah,
again,
he's
at
not a
not being a
bruiser.
primary starter in Georgia, not being a primary starter his first couple years here, like I saw that he only has 100 more carries than what's my old boy that was drafted out of Boise State this year? His name.
Gent.
Yeah, he only has 100 more carries in his college and pro career than Genty. And Genty's a
Right.
rookie, and James Cook is going into his 4th year. So like that
Right.
shows you the lack of beat down that James Cook has already seen. So like paying someone who hasn't been a bell cow, I don't have no issue with that.
Yeah. Facts, because most of these running backs by that time they his age, because I think he's 25 right now, he'll be 26 in September. Most of these guys at 25, they
Got
done
double the
already
amount
put
of carries.
1,200 plus carries easy. You know what I mean? And only the great ones are able to obviously sustain that for a decent amount of time. You know, the LaDainian Tomlinsons, the
Frank Gore on ass.
Frank Gore for forever. But the list is short. You know, Emmitt Smith. You know, Barry Sanders did it and just dipped. He said, "Cool, I did what I had to do. I'm out." Thurman
I don't even
Thomas.
think
You
he
know what I
made
mean?
it to 30. Like he was just
Nah, I
amazing.
don't even think he did. Yeah, he did 8, 9. He did like 8, 9 years, dipped out. I like the way Curtis Martin did his career. You know, Jamal Charles. So like Fred Taylor. So there was some guys to be mentioned who did it for like 8 to 10 years, and then it was what it was after that. You know what I mean? If you do it past 10 years, like the Bettises, like the Emmett Smiths, the Thurman Thomases, you're out of the norm, and you are normally in the Hall of Fame, which will be Frank Gore shortly. So once again, we'll wrap up the Frank Gore portion, and I mean not the Frank Gore, the James Cook by saying, man, kudos to the Bills on getting that done. Kudos for Cook, where I think ultimately he handled it the best way he possibly could. I mean, you have players around the league dropping like flies like every summer, with season-ending injuries and
his own team. People
yeah,
dropping
so
like flies. I've been like, listen, I'm gonna sit this one
yeah,
out.
I'm gonna sit this one out too because I gotta put the pen to the pad. You know what I mean, so
Right.
and, and
I
then
listen, like I have 30 plus million on the line. Like for me, I don't understand why people don't understand that.
they don't, because they
Like
well, they don't want to. So it's more of a,
yeah, that's
they're
fair.
not trying to understand. Because like I said, I can sit here and try to speak to the average Bills fan about certain shit that I believe, and for some of them it's gonna go in one ear and out the other. But that's why I think most people appreciate me talking like Bills, stuff with them, because when they talk to me for like more than 2 minutes, they're like, oh, okay, he not just babbling, like he actually kind of know what he's talking about. Because it's like I'm always pro player first off, because I think that in life you have to realize that there's always going to be powers above us and people who can move us around like puzzle pieces. And it's the same for these players. Just because these players make millions, they still have bosses, they still have owners in front of them who at any given point in time can take them out of a game, can cut them, can trade them. And we don't look at that part. All we look at the part is where we say, oh, they got extended for X amount of dollars. Oh my gosh, that is too much. Overpay. And you look at the comments and it's like, people don't realize half of these cats have put their bodies on the line since they was 6, 7 years old. They got their mom, their father, their grandmother, their grandfather. They got their family on their back home. Half of these cats, because we know half of them look like us, African American, coming from these communities, they are coming from straight poverty. And now they got a chance to get a real bag to be able to invest in their neighborhoods, be able to give back to their family, to give back shit, to just live a better life than what they grew up in. Everybody didn't live the Bosa lifestyle, right? You know what I mean? And a family with money and all that shit. Motherfuckers was probably golfing at the age of 9. Like that wasn't a story of James Cook. That wasn't a story of Keon Coleman. So like when I see keyboard warriors, let's call them that, try to tell these young athletes how to walk, how to talk. It's the same thing. And like I said, this could be a longer episode, but I want to keep it real short. It's the same thing of how people talk about Shedeur Sanders, where it's like, I'm a nitpick and do everything I can to talk about how he moves and how he talks and how he does this. And it's like, people don't get it. You can't dictate how somebody move. When they don't put the work in, when you done put your body out there, because people just think you wake up and you just, you can be a naturally gifted person, but to play at the NFL level, to play at the Division I level and be at the top of the Division I level, to get drafted, there's some work that gets put in. And then to be able to stay at a starter level, backup level, whatever, you got to put in more work. So then when you see yourself produce, you think it's wrong to say, hey, I'm part of the 1%. And I just balled out as one of the best players in the whole damn world. I want to get paid a little bit more than some of the people that's doing the same thing I'm doing. Now I got little people telling me, oh, nah, you wildin'. Who is you? Right. Mr. Jake from State Farm?
Yeah, because when I hear people talk, all I hear in my head is shut up and play football. And I'm like, right. Yo, but I'm more than that, bro. Because like, personally, I always think this ain't just about me. So what does this do for me? What does this do for my family? What does this do for my community? Like he worked hard to put himself in this position to get what he feel he's worth. So if
Right.
he feel he's worth that, he should be entitled to do what he needs to do to get that. So if that means
Right.
sitting out a couple practices, if that means, rocking the boat a little bit, which I don't even think he did. Like, he showed
Nah,
up,
nah,
he put a couple tweets out here or Instagram stories here or there. Like, he didn't even make it ugly. He wasn't out here writing farewell letters to the team saying,
right.
trade
Like
me.
Miles, like Miles
Yeah, he
Garrett,
just
damn near said,
came up,
"Y'all motherfuckers."
still showed the work. Like, that should show his commitment to this team, his commitment to his teammates. Like, but people just the diva trade him this and that, trade him for a bag of balls and this and that. I'm like, yo, y'all tripping. Because if
Especially
y'all
in
was
the
in his
offseason.
shoes, y'all be doing the same thing. And if y'all just
Yeah,
willing to play on that last contract with no guarantee, y'all tripping.
yeah, because that's like I said, if you want to relate it to work, just imagine going to your job. Like we all take our jobs for granted, right? Where we like, oh, whatever. Like unless I get fired, I'm gonna be here. Imagine your job was a contract job, which I know they have them out there, and your contract was up in January. Let's see if
Mm-hmm.
you not pressing your buttons to try to get what you deserve to get that extension. You gonna
Yeah.
do what you
But
got to
then,
do, especially if you're not a performer.
right, as someone who has almost a decade, even before real estate, of contract work, someone who's been in those situations where, out the blue, all of a sudden you out of a job with no heads up, without the guarantee of a salary. Like, I
Right.
100% feel where these players come from. Like, no, I just want some security for me and my family. So
Yep.
I'm gonna do what I need to do to get it. Nothing more, nothing
Security.
less. It's business. Some people just don't understand business. They take business personal. I'm sorry. I don't think Brandon Bean and the rest of their staff take it personal that James Cook is doing what he feels he needs to do to get this contract. And if they are, oh
Yeah.
well, I gotta make sure me and my family taken care of. Because the average NFL career is not
2
even 3
years.
years. Yeah.
Right.
So he got to do what he need to do. So with all that being said, I'm happy he's here. I'm happy for him and his family. I'm
Right.
happy for this team because they kept one of their biggest weapons. They got him locked up to a number, obviously, that the Bills were comfortable doing.
Right.
So I'm excited that he'll be a part of this core for the next, 4 to 5 years.
4 years. Yeah. I
And
mean,
it's
4 years. I mean, 3, 4 years minimum, and that's the biggest thing with me is like anytime I see these contracts, I know some of it is
yeah,
dragged
take
out,
it
but
all with a
at the,
grain of salt.
yeah, but I'm like at the end of the day, I if I'm the Bills, I gotta essentially a 4 year window with
Hmm.
this core, right?
Yeah, you
So
look at
with this,
everybody they signed.
yeah,
The Greg Rousseau, the Bernard, the Benford, the Shakir, now the Cook,
yep,
Josh Allen, like they gearing
yep,
up. All right, these next 4 to 5 years,
yeah,
this is the squad we rolling with.
this the core. So it's like if you can make it work with this core, not to mention the rookies that they got this year, which Max Harrison, Deion Walker, Landon Jackson, like Jordan Hancock, like these guys are going to be a part of that new wave too. They just rookies,
Mhm.
so they obviously they got to play their rookie deal. But I do kind of want to close this thing out as a two-parter. One, obviously, hopefully Cleveland can do the right thing, and I'm gonna just keep it simple because that
Listen,
can be an episode in itself. Because
listen, man. I think I'm still upset from how the draft played out. Because there's no way you can look at his college tape and tell me that's a 5th round talent. So the fact that these teams let outside influences or whatever influence them to that point is crazy. As bad as Cleveland desperately needed a quarterback, the fact that they drafted Dylan Gabriel before him is
it's
still
it's
crazy
it,
to me.
it, 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 it it's beyond crazy, and that's all I can say. Like I said, I can spend 30 minutes talking about that alone, but like all I gotta say is, and I heard he got an oblique injury now, so he didn't practice. So whatever, I need to see X-rays at this point. I mean, let me make sure that his oblique is good or not, because like y'all could just be because like. Nah, I mean, you know how it be the politics of sports would be like, oh, now
Right.
we're
Yeah,
gonna sit you out.
let's not make it too hot.
Yeah, this week in preseason, we're gonna sit you out because we want to get a better look at these other guys. Yeah, I know you want to sit me out this week because if I ball out again, there's gonna be some furniture moving up in here. So I get it. They're gonna probably sit him out week 2, and guess what? Y'all viewership also gonna go down, or it may stay the same because people gonna want to see how doodle these other cats is. So you might get the same amount of people watching, but y'all saw how that crowd was in Carolina. I saw how that crowd
Hmm.
was. You saw a bunch of 12s out there. You saw a bunch of Cleveland fans in North Carolina for a preseason game. Stop it. Talk about influence. Talk about impact, bro. Ain't nobody that came in the league with that type of swag and that impact in a couple decades.
Listen,
you know what I mean? Like even like I'll say this real quick. As explosive as Randy Moss was when he was with Minnesota, because I remember some very big, dramatic rookie years, over the last couple decades. Cam Newton being one, Randy Moss sticks out. But like I'm talking about from preseason, bro. That Shador hype, that love he getting right now, and most of the love is kind of like what you said from people who were like, "Oh nah, y'all violated."
Listen, bro, I know bullshit when I see it. Some old bull.
Yeah, we all do.
That whole thing was some old bull. Because again, I'm like you. I feel like this can be an easy 30, 40-minute conversation itself. People like, well, his interview, this and this and that, ain't like his personality. Listen, there was nothing that he showed that he wasn't a team player, that he wasn't a leader. He's been coached by NFL caliber coaches his entire life. He has the work ethic. He has the Hall of Fame bloodline. Like, he has everything that you want. There's never any reports about him not being a hard worker, about him slacking off in practice or this and that. You have someone who is dedicated to the craft. And people are still finding negative things because he wear a watch, because he flosses. But he has, like, that's just who he is. Let him be who he is while he ball out. But at the end of the day, he was part of a transformation at Colorado. He was part of a transformation at Jackson State. He put up 100%. Damn near historic accuracy numbers or completion percentage numbers while at both schools, with a very bad offensive line in front of him. Help Travis Hunter put up the type of numbers that he did. Help Joe Horn put up the type of numbers that he did.
And the other cat. You know what I mean?
Three receivers from that team is in the league. And it's not. And it's not. I mean, this is completely unrelated to what this quarterback is doing.
That's why we need more. We need more. We need better minds inside these offices. That's all that's telling me. In the NFL, we still not there yet. We getting there with the coaching staff.
What that got to do with him?
Yeah, we in there with the coaching staffs. They starting to get a lot more diverse. We getting
a lot more. You know what? If y'all hating by association because that man is attached to him, y'all got issues.
Y'all gotta cut it out. Because like I said it during the draft, and like I said, I'll keep it right short right here. Is if you're a franchise and you don't want to win and you don't want to make, because it's two things that got to come with sports, and this is why. Once again, my degree was sports management, because after high school, I started to really enjoy like looking at sports as a business and just like the makeup of how teams go and they flow and all of that. So when I look at it from a business standpoint and when I look at it from a player standpoint, you mean to tell me you wouldn't want to get a quality player that's a big piece, probably the biggest piece of your franchise, and then not only add a big piece like a good / great quarterback candidate for the next however many years. When you look at the business aspect, you're trying to grow, the business side of your team too. When you grab a player, and you got the potential to grab a guy who gonna run your merchandise, anything you can think of, content through the roof, and you're not gonna take a stab at that because of some you stupid.
Listen, I'll say this right now. New Orleans is stupid.
New Orleans is very
stupid. Like, I'm just like, Pittsburgh stupid.
I know Dart looked good. One cool. Giants, Steelers, all them boys. Every time they kept passing them, I remember walking past that TV at work. And like I said, this is why I can't talk too much about it. I remember walking past that screen more than a couple times. I'm like, so yeah, I bet. Oh, and then y'all went ahead and drafted another quarterback. I bet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And that's why motherfuckers is riding for him. Y'all think it's because.
Listen, there's very few players I want to succeed more than I want this young man to succeed.
Facts.
I want him to prove this entire NFL world wrong so bad. Come on, bro. You're gonna have to listen, bro. I will buy a Shador jersey.
Oh
if my
yeah,
man do
soon
what he
as he
needs, I will be.
right.
I'm not gonna be rooting for the
Because
Browns,
I'm
but I will
not
be
getting the
rooting for
Cleveland joint.
Shador.
Cleveland joint disrespected him, so I'm not ready to go with the Cleveland route when it comes to the jersey for him. But like, if he can get settled in, whatever, get QB1 role, whatever, I'm copping the jersey. Because like I said, I hate to do it with Cleveland. They do some dirty shit to him this first year,
Yeah, but
but
it is what it is.
it is what it
Because
is.
again,
Like I
like
said,
you rocking.
that's
Listen, you if he keeps doing what he's doing, it's only a matter of time because you can't say Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco has a higher ceiling than what he has.
you know.
So listen, the ball is in his court. Hopefully, if he do what he need to do, hopefully that team is his. But we'll find
Yeah,
out.
I got on his side too. Yeah, he got so many prayer warriors. His father is going through his
Mm-hmm.
own stuff, and his father's out there battling too. So prayers out to his father as well. But like I said, we can dedicate a whole episode to the whole Sanders saga, as I call it. But now to wrap it up in short, man, we know with preseason we don't give predictions, but I will say as we close out these last 3-4 minutes, give me one. I'll say one player in particular that you're gonna maybe be eyeing this weekend for week 2 of preseason.
I think my focus is still on this D line. Um,
Okay.
when I was watching the game last week, I was glued to seeing what these young D tackles and defensive ends are doing. And when I watch it this week, it's probably going to be more of the same. Uh, just seeing how these young defensive tackles do. Like, I want to see T.J. Sanders and Dion just keep going out there and balling. And I want to see if Landon Jackson can, you know, put something a little bit better on tape than he did week 1. And Michael Hoyt,
Yeah.
man, that man was balling that first game. So
Yeah.
that's when I kind of see more of his game and see what
Yeah. I think
he can bring to the team. So I think that's my
he got
biggest focus. And I guess by default, we're seeing what this receiver room continue to do because again, Shakir is still out for a little bit longer. I
so
mean, I
many
don't know when
injuries.
Curtis Samuel coming back.
I'm losing faith, man. I was Team Curtis for like 4 months. I'm
Yeah,
losing. Not
I'm a
even 4
little.
months. I've been Team Curtis since like last summer.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous at this point because I'm like, yo, bro, you may have all the talent in the world, but none of that matters if you can't stay on the field.
If you can't get avail, and what did McDermott always say? Availability.
Yeah, and if
That's
Tyrell Shavers keep doing what he's doing,
oh
he's pushing very hard for a 53 spot right
yeah,
now. Because at this
yeah,
point, if he keeps doing what he's doing, I don't think he can squeeze on to the practice squad. I mean, he'll be somebody that might get poached right up. So
yeah.
just
Somebody
kind of
gonna notice, huh?
watching. Yeah, just keep watching that receiver room. But really, that D line is kind of where my big focus is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. D line is obviously biggest thing. I think for me, if Cole Bishop plays, I'm gonna have my eyes on Cole. I know he started practicing on a limited basis. From the last practice is what I heard. And he may get a chance to play. I know they're going to scrimmage this weekend as well, going into Chicago. So I'm looking at not mainly Taylor Rapp because I mean he scares me anytime he hits the field anyway. But from a safety standpoint, once again, that's the weakest spot to me in its entire defense. Because going in, and I say it every week, we have continued to say, when can we get these guys to get reps together out on the field? You know what I mean? And we all know the regular season is where it's at. So I'm not losing sleep. But when one of those guys is a second year guy, my man needs as many reps as possible. And when he's having issues with getting on the field as well, that's going to cause many people to be like, I mean, can we see more of Cole Bishop? Because I feel like we only get little bits and pieces, and
Yeah,
that kills me because I really want to be Team Cole. I really want to be like, yeah, there we go. That's why we got him in second round. But like I can't because it's like a man fucking moving around like he made out of paper. So it's like I want to see more from Cole. So I will, if he does play, I will have my eyes on him. And then you already hinted at the other guy I was going to bring up, which is Shavers. I want to see if he can stack the days. We've seen him on and off now for the last, I'll say 3 years, kind of make plays here and there in the preseason, make plays here and there in training camp. But I think this is probably his best shot at really cracking that top 5. Because always the conversation around Shavers is like practice squad / wide receiver 6. Like it really ain't been no real shot for him to crack the top 4, top 5. But depending on the availability of already mentioned Curtis Samuel and Elijah Mitchell, I'm telling you right now, if Shavers keep getting a couple more looks in these preseason games, because he got nothing but opportunity in front of him. Like, I mean, I'm glad to see he bounce back from the injury that he had like that first week, because now he out in the field and he getting loose. And like I said, for him, it's all about consistency and showing that he can add a little element to the special teams as well. So I'll say, so I'll say Shavers on the offensive side, Cole on the defensive side, and of course watching those young D linemen. But should be another fun weekend, man. I always tell people, man, health. We got to stay healthy because the main goal is, first off, obviously get through the preseason in one piece. But we got week 1, baby. Week 1 is Baltimore, Sunday night football. And I would love for us to, play probably our best competition all year, especially in the AFC, at full strength. You know what I mean? And I know we'll still be without a couple guys with suspensions, but and possibly, well, it's looking like it's really going to be without Max Harrison. But I like to see us at least go in that game at a smooth 95% with a lot of our key players in there. So I'll leave it at that. I always say we gonna keep it short, and we always go 50 minutes because we just
short-ish.
That's short-ish. You know what I mean? And sports will do that to you, especially when boys ain't been on in a couple weeks. But anything you want to end it with though before we let off and really get into the
just slowly counting down the days, man. We are less than 1 month away from the start of regular season. So
we about to hit that 3-week mark, man. Yeah, which is crazy to say.
Getting ready for Sunday night, dog.
Man, 3 weeks.
Sunday night one is coming up real fast.
All that shit.
Yeah.
So
it is about to be. Yeah, you're right about all that. Yeah. But yeah, no, nothing else, man. I'm just looking forward to another weekend of football and seeing my team out there taking care of business and hopefully getting healthy. That's all I care about. Getting healthy.
Heal up Khalil Shakir. Heal up Bishop, Rap, Bernard, Curtis, please. Listen, Curtis, man. You're going to make me have to erase some tweets if you don't hurry up because you can't make me look bad. I've been counting you in that top 5, top 6 for a while.
Yeah, Curtis,
I might have.
If you can't get healthy soon, bro, we're going to have to ship you off for
we got Skittles or something. Yeah, and I don't even know if they're going to have to do that. They might just have to release him, but I know with that money, they're going to, I mean, something going to have to shake. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not trying to lose full hope in my guy, but guess what, bro? Availability is the key. So I'll leave it with guys, man. Have a safe, fun weekend. As we close out to the last 4 weeks of summer, I always tell people, man, do your best to stay safe. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. There's so much going on. Like I tell people all the time, like
chicken.
Like, yeah, right. Take care of your chicken. As Marshawn said. But like I'm doing here.
Yeah, all right,
vitamin water. Vitamin water, regular water, whatever you need to do. But love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Happy birthday, Marv Levy.
Yeah, big 100. But again, we didn't even shout out the name of the show. We are in the zone with V and Z. I'm Zyrus, and we got Vel here. We appreciate y'all locking with us for another week. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But either way, we'll catch y'all next week. Big blessings to everybody out there.
Let's get it, man. Let James cook. Catch y'all next week.